Welcome back to Genealogy. I'm Mark, and today I'm talking about a tutorial on how to use Google Docs or Google Sheets to help with genealogy and family history and building your family tree. I've been very lucky in that James Bianco, a professional genealogist, was able to go into the catalog at Family Search, and like I've mentioned before, that they have unindexed records. So I've been very, very lucky because he went into the Carini records, which go back to the 1550s. And he was able to take most of those records with his team. It's not just James, it's Ange and Mike, and I don't know anybody else's names, but it was like a 10-year project that they worked on. So they took baptism records like these, and they plugged it into these Excel documents. So we can see here, we've got marriage, baptism, some of the burials, very limited there, and Ellis Island, which people who had lived in Carini and are on Ellis Island records, and there's 4,500 records listed here. It's not everyone, and I've added some myself, just like with the baptism, I've added a few thousand since this initially was 1826 to 1911, and so you can see here, I've got back into the 1700s so far. So I've added a few thousand. What I've also done, and I'll demonstrate how to do this, is if you see here, these are, of course, the links back. So if we click here, we can get back to the original document that is linked there. So there we have the original document that we can blow up there. Beautiful, beautiful record. So I want to go through and do a tutorial. This is not a deep dive on how to use Excel or how to use Google Sheets, but it will help you get started so that you can start indexing in a sense, so that you can have these records searchable and that you can have the original document linked to it. This has been an incredible asset. And the principal reason why I have over 20,000 or over 22,000 now people on my ancestry tree with original records to verify that I have all the right information is because James Bianco and his team did this, and you'll be able to do the same. You'll be able to go Terracini or Rome, anything in the catalog where you are researching that is unindexed. I'll go through later, the last thing I'll talk about, why this is so important in finding our family and filling in our family tree. So to get started, all we need is a basic Google account. What we want, I'm not going to go into how to do that. That's fairly straightforward how to do it. But let's get into how we actually create this sheet or this Excel document. What's really cool is that you come down here, if we want it, we can share it, and I'll go through that later also. But when we download, you can download this as a Microsoft Excel. So that's Microsoft Excel right there. And also as an open office document, which is, I prefer anyway to, it's open source, it's free, and hey, free works for me. So how do we get into and actually start? So what we want to do is you just go to Google Docs. That's docs.google.com. And we don't want the blue one. We want to have the green one. So we want to hit Sheets. That'll bring us up to this. We want to hit the blank. I know it's fairly straightforward, which is nice. I am going to take this and I am going to zoom it to 200% because I want everyone to be able to see it here in the video. It says here, Untitled Spreadsheet on the left-hand corner. We're going to double click that, and we're going to call it Carini Records 1. Enter. Now we've got it titled. I'm going to start off, and I'm just going to, for demonstrative and for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to just use baptism. So if you see here, I can do marriage, baptism, burial, and Ellis Island. I'm going to just do baptism. We have in Excel, this is a column, and this is a row, and this is a cell. We want to make what's called a header. So if we are up here, this is our header, and right now it moves. We don't want that. So what we want to do is we want to grab this bar here. See, it goes to the Mickey Mouse kind of hand. You click that, you drag it down one, let it go, and now all of a sudden you can scroll and everything stays up here. So what we want to do, we'll create our header. We want it in bold, so we're going to just click one time on this. It highlights the whole row. This is the B for bold. We're going to click that. Now, everything that we type in these cells in this row is going to be bold. So we're going to say born. This is the year born. This is going to be the baptism. Back then, the baptism tended to be the same day. The older we get, the more likely we are that the baptism is the same day as the birth. The later we get, it starts to, a day or two, maybe even a week later. So here we've got, unless there was a chance of imminent death, and that's usually in the baptism. So here we got July 3rd of July, 1907, is the birthday, and then the very next day, July 4th, 1907, Vita Abandando was born to Benedetto and Francesca Gilardi. Here we got July 11th, 1994, baptized the next day, July 12th. That's Angelo Labate. You get the idea. So let's go down the list here. We got baptism. I don't usually use the record number because I'm linking back to the original document, but I'll go through that. We're going to have the child's first name. We're going to have the child's, I have to learn how to type. Child's last name. If we want to increase the size of the cell, really easy, or the size of the column, we just put our cursor over the line. When it does the double arrow, then we just drag while holding the mouse down. And then the same thing here, we hold it down, we move it over there. We'll probably need a little bit of room. Abandando and Badalamenti, Pasalaga, that's some long name. And here we're going to put the father's first name. We're just going to put father's name. Now, a little different than what James and his, I like to have the mother's name searchable. So when I go to search, where you go Control F, you can put the mother's name in, and it's easier to search that way. If it's just the individual name, like we got over here, because you can only search per cell. You can't do a search, as far as I know, for double cell. So if you're able to do that, that's really cool, but I'm not familiar with that. So we're going to put the mother's name in completely. Now, if the child marries later, we're going to put the spouse and that information in there. Also going to put the link back to the original document. And in these baptism records, you will have the godfather and the godmother. So those are what we're going to. Now, you can put what you want in there. If there's information in the records that you're going through that you believe are important, put it in the header, plug the information in. Let's make this pop a little bit better over there. We're going to highlight this. We go to the fill color. That's the bucket there. And we're going to make that stand out. Now we've got a header. And so what do? We don't want it to move with the scroll. So again, like we did before, we're going to grab this bar here and we're going to just pull it down. And now we can scroll to our heart's content over here, and it doesn't move. That's what we want, because now we get to the fun stuff. All right, so here we're in the records. This is where it really gets fun. We're going to blow this bad boy up so everybody can read this nice and easy. Now, most of the records that I'm familiar with, the church records from over 100 years ago, the Catholic church records, they're going to be in Latin. Now, sometimes they throw you a curveball where they mix the vernacular up with the Latin. Terracini is notorious for this. They will mix the Sicilian up with the Latin, and I can actually read the Latin a lot better than the Sicilian. Plus, if you're in the Latin, if you don't know what the word means, a simple Google search will get that for you. Not so much with the Sicilian. Okay, a little bit about the dates here. I'm not going to go through the history of the change of the dates from the Julian calendar. Suffice to say here, when you get from September to December, a little confusing because they don't abbreviate it like normal people, like normal, like what you'd expect. Well, okay, so this is Roman numeral 10, so 10 bris. So you would think that would be October. No, it is not. October, Otto, it's the 8th month. No, it's the 10th month. Or here, 10 bris, that is actually December. So what we have here is 24 December 1813. We've got a Christmas Eve baby, Rosalia. So let's start punching in that information. We've got the 24th of December 1813. Just for the heck of it, we'll put the record number in. That's usually in these records, depends on where you're going. The Sicilian records or the Italian records tend to be right here on the right-hand side, 109, which means this is 108. So we will plug in 108 we have Rosalia. What is the child's last name? Well, here we see the parents, and over here we just a little information about this. The sacrament is being done. The performance of the sacrament is being. The priesthood member is Francesco Carollo. Very common name, very tight with the Gargaglianos, Mia Familia. And then the infantum natum is born of ex master Vito et, which is and Vincenza Armetta. Very cool because Mia Bisnona is Francesca Armetta, so these are probably family. I think the master, I can't remember the actual Latin one for that. He's not a commoner. But we got Vito and Vincenza Armetta, and the godparents are Antonino et Giuseppe Armetta. And this is really interesting too because, all right, my Latin is actually worse than my Italiano. Frater et Sorella. So the Italian, I'm a little better. Fratello et Sorella. It's the brother and sister. So we know that this is Anthony and Josephine Armetta, brother and sister of Vito. So let's plug this in. We've got Armetta. Father's name is Vito. We've got Vincenza, her first name. Now, if we want any of this in bold, I think it's best to follow the pattern that we've got here with the last name, because that's what's going to govern our list. It's in alphabetical order. It's easy to tell where you are. If we want to bold everything automatically here, it's really good. Part of this sheet or Excel. All you do is put one mouse click there. That highlights the column. And we go over here, bold. We click that. Now that will automatically do that. So if we do this, it's automatically bolded. Very nice. But we got to find Vincenza's last name. A lot of times the baptism records, they, because of the way Sicilian culture was, the women did not use a married name. They didn't use their husband's name. Even when they came to the United States, they came, like my grandparents, my great-grandmother came over on Ninfa Pecoraro, not Ninfa Randazzo. So a lot of times on these records, the baptism and the marriage records, they will have the mother's maiden name on it, which is really great. We don't have that here. We got to find that. Now, I can cheat because, thank you, James Bianco and his team, I can cheat. I can go to my marriage records that he did. I can scroll to Armetta. I go down to Vito. Not a common name for the Armettas. We don't have too much here. Well, look at this. We got 1813, January. And so we're talking about a December baby. A good chance this is who we're looking for. So we scroll. We got Vincenza. Vincenza Nania. So that we're going to be able to then plug in her name. Now that is searchable. If it was in a separate cell, I couldn't search for Vincenza Nania. So you can go Control F. That brings up the search. And if I wanted to do Vincenza, I got to spell it right. Vincenza Nania. And then it finds it. Now, it's easy here now, but wait until there's, you got 15,000 people in there. So what do we do next? What we're going to do is we want the original document. So we're going to right click that. We're going to hit copy. We're going to go back to our document. Make sure we got the right row. We got the link back. You can right click again and hit paste. Bada boom, bada bing. It's there. Now it's there. Now we want to put the godparents in. The godfather. The godfather here is, and this is another, just to mention, they usually put the father, the husband's name, the male names, they usually use the Latin. So here, it's not Antonino, it's Antoninus. And but the father's name, Vito, should have been Vitus or Vitus. But it's in the vernacular here, it's in Italian. So a little unusual there. Maybe, I don't know. So we got Antonino and Giuseppe. So we have Antonino, Armetta. I would put in parentheses, Fratello or brother, and Giuseppe, Armetta, sorella or sister. Very important information in there. So there we go. I'm going to do just one more so that we're doing this in alphabetical order, so it's easy to go through, easy to understand. So I'll do one more real fast. We'll go to the next one. We got a Christmas baby, Domenicus Francescus. So Domenico Francesco, and son of Croce and Anna Maria Cucuzza. Nice. So the Cucuzza family and the Gargaglianos, very close. Also the Armedids. They intermarried for hundreds of years. Very close families. So I'm not surprised that they're here. So we got a December baby. We will go up here. We'll give ourselves some space because we're going to get eventually hundreds between here. So we've got a Christmas baby. So we've got 25 December 1813. It's still the same sheet, record number 108. We've got Domenico Francesco. And we've got Cucuzza. See, it's automatically putting it in bold. And we know that the father's name is Croce. We have Anna Maria. I can already just plug in the link back. It's the same page. It's on the same record. But we don't know Anna Maria's last name. So let's go back and sheet. We have to look up Cucuzza. Going to Croce, not a common name. Only two can be right. And so we're looking at 1797 is probably the right one because it's Anna Maria and it'll be in alphabetical order. So we're going to come down here. We got Anna Maria and Piscatello. And I'm extremely lazy, so I'm going to click on that cell. I'm going to copy and paste her name instead of typing it in. I'll go to Anna Maria, Control V, or I can right click and paste right there. But that does it. Let's take a look at the godparents. We got a Paolo Carollo. And the godmother is Christina. So we'll plug that in. That's going to take some work to figure out her last name. If they're married, that kind of helps. If they're not, I probably won't be able to, I may not be able to find out. So that's it. That's what we've got. That's how you set it up. Now, if you see here, I've got 4 sheets on the one document. It just made it easier. It originally was 4 Excel, but you're able to import them into Google Sheets. So if we want to add more, what we do is say we've got the baptism. So so if we double click on that, we can put baptism. Now we have that, this is the baptism. If we want, we can right click that, we can duplicate it, copy it, rename it, change the color, protect the sheet. We can rename it, and I will capitalize that. Now we have baptism. Now, if we want to add the marriage record, this is right there in the corner. I'll blow that up. We hit add sheet. Now we got a blank sheet. I'm going to cheat here, and I'm not going to go through everything. So I'm going to highlight the header. I'm going to go and I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to go to our new one, and I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit paste. All right, Control V. And now everything's there. But I have to still fix that, and I have to pull that down. Now I can start plugging in all the information on that. And I don't need to go through that. You already know how to do that. But 2 more things I want to discuss on that. What's so great about this is you don't have to do this yourself. I mean, if we look at these records, you see here, this is, we have 8 baptism records on one page. We have 736. Some of these records, so there's a lot of information in here, and it could take an awful long time to do that. We have 8 baptism records on this one page. Shrink it down so you can see just how many. And you can see we've got 736 pages here alone. Some of them are up to 2,000 or more. So it's a tremendous, tremendous undertaking to take all this information just from the baptism records from 1813 to 1828. You don't have to do it alone. And what's so great about this is right here, you have in the top right corner, you have the share button. So if we use the share button, we'll click that. Now we're able to invite other people who can actually edit. which is really great. And it keeps track, and it does keep track of that. You can invite people to edit. And what you can do is, if you have enough people doing it, if you got 3, 4, maybe 10 people all working on the document, you can then have people working just to input the data, like I was doing just here. And then you can also have other people that will verify that the information that you're inputting is actually accurate. So it's the same thing when we are at Family Search and we are indexing, which 1950 census, we should all be participating in indexing that. That is a 2 or 3 step process where we do the indexing initially, we input the data, and then other teams will then verify that the data is accurate. So they're going to fact check in the sense that what you and I have inputted is accurate. So we can do the same here on our Google Sheets. We can invite people to help and input the data and to verify that the data we've inputted is actually accurate. The last thing I want to discuss in here on why this is so valuable when you have this, it's not just because it's because it's searchable. It's how it helps you when you're actually doing the research. So I'm able to find people that are from Carini. Right, so when I go to Ancestry, when I find names like this, Salvador Menino and Gaetana, I'm able to then look at their ages. They're 61 years old in 1940 and 49 years old. Okay, I can then go to the Carini records, and I can check here to see if they are in the records and married. And I'm able to determine, and a lot of times using just that alone, I'm able to determine whether they are from Carini or not. A lot of times what I'll be doing is I'll get an exact birth date from a Social Security death record. And then I can check, again, I can go back here into my baptism records and I can check to see if the date matches up. So I've been able to find a lot of family this way and confirm that they are from Carini because I have these records available. So if you're able to do a lot of if you can get a team and you can, let's say for Terracini or you're doing Thomaston, Maine, something like that, and you're able to get all those names in there, you're going to be able to then, when you're doing research, if you find a Social Security death record or something like that with an exact birth date, you're then going to be able to go back and check in the records to try to verify if they are from that particular town. That's what I've been able to do and what I do all the time. So that's a quick tutorial, I think it was quick, on how to use Google Docs and Google Sheets to be able to index, in a sense, a town where you have the information, right, like right here, when you have it in the catalog for Family Search, but they're not indexed and not searchable. So this is where you can compile that, have all the names, all the information on the documents, and have the link back to the original document, and then be able to use that to build your tree. So if you're going to take on such a project, let me know in the comments the town you are researching. And last, if there's a question or concern you have about the information in this video, please leave it in the comments and I will address it. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark, and this is Epic Genealogy.